Hello, everyone. Welcome to Lifestyle Self-Made. My name is Yusuf Kalan, and I have Alice with me today. Today, we actually do have matching outfits
Yes.
or matching T-shirts, and as you can see here, we can't do stuff because we're busy creating courses, right? So, do you want to tell us a little bit more about that, Alice?
Yes, I'm also excited about today's guests. You guys are going to really enjoy her. She is someone who helps people like change their thought patterns, get rid of bad habits, but also shared it with us from her own personal story of getting over food addiction and dealing with all those negative thoughts as well, and has lots of great tips for us. So we will get into that. But yes, tomorrow is the launch of Course Creators University. And it's similar to our Journal Creators University program, which was super popular to rave reviews, because not only have we given you instruction on how to create courses, we also have a 30-day challenge to kind of build in some accountability for you, give you all the templates you need, marketing templates, course creation templates, making it super easy to dive deep into creating courses. And if you guys are interested, on our YouTube channel tomorrow morning if you are watching this as the premiere, but on June 20th at 7 a.m. Pacific and 10 a.m. Eastern, we're going to go live here on the YouTube channel. We'll give you a total walkthrough of the program so you can see everything, know what it's all about, ask all the questions you want, even probably get some tips on course creation as well. We always have a good time at those events, and we would be glad to have you join us. And I assume you're excited about Course Creators University as well, Yusuf?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'm definitely excited about this. It's a course that we've been working on for a very long time. We've been perfecting it for over 2 years now, and we have added so much to it. Alice has already mentioned the features or some of the stuff that we have included in the course. But in addition to what she has mentioned so far, we will also provide you with ideas and tips on building the infrastructure that will host your course, right? So your course would have to be put somewhere for people to, interact with it, engage with it, and learn from it. And that basically you would need an infrastructure in order to make that happen. And in the course, we will break down, everything from how to build a course and how to market it. And a lot of people have already showed interest, and this is going to be a very interesting course. So enough talking about Course Creators University, and let's introduce today's guest. Today's guest is Lisa Meta Griff. She is the co-founder of Metamorfize, headquartered in New York City, operating globally. Through her own journey to heal addiction, obsessive thinking, and master her mind, she created the Science of Change. Tune into the podcast in order to know what that is, which is a process for people who feel stuck and want to break through negative thinking into positive action to live life full of abundance, fun, and ease.
I think that's totally like Lisa's energy that she gives off too when we had the interview with her, and what a wonderful setup for her life that she's created for herself, where she is from Long Island, in New York State, and she spends half the time in Mexico doing retreats with her clients. So she looked like maybe she had been on the beach that day already when she came to see us, looked very relaxed and happy, and it was nice to see, and awesome that she's sharing the message too of what she's learned and how she's passing that on to other people.
All right, so we have hyped up the show enough. So right now, let's get into the interview with Lisa Meta Griff. To start, tell us a little bit about yourself and how and what got you started with your business.
Whew, those are the big questions, right? Who are you? How did I get started with my business? Well, I studied graphic design and communications in college, which led me to work in New York City as a graphic designer. I had the whole if you can make it there, you can make it anywhere thing. And I worked corporate for a while, and shortly I realized that when I was doing design work, I was always having conversations with people, and it wasn't about delivering a website or a logo. It was about really understanding people's mind, and that was what was behind everything. So my graphic design career, moved into business coaching, but then ended up into lifestyle creation. But now I call myself a mind mastery. I shortened the path for you because I just noticed that it was really the mind that I was working with, and the deliverable didn't matter as much. So that's my going title: mind mastery coach and breathwork practitioner.
When in the information we got from you before, you said like there was a certain journey that you were going through in your personal life that led you to this path. Did you want to share a bit about that?
Oh yeah, sure. Well, so the mind mastery work stems from my own obsessive thinking. I'm a very cerebral Virgo kind of person, come from a family of thinkers, and I had, or I don't know, yes, I'll go with food addiction, which had my mind really obsessing around food. And there was a moment in my journey, I just realized if I don't get in control of my mind, then my mind is going to start controlling me. And it was through that recognition and then pairing it with breath work, which breath work was one of the fastest ways I found to come back home to myself, to reconnect with myself. So those two things were a part of my journey to know myself, love myself, trust myself again. And then it really grew into what I created a program and a process called the Science of Change. So it's what I support others to help them come back to themselves, to master their minds, to reframe how they're seeing things. I often say the things around you don't change, but how you see them can. So I like to think that I help people with perspective shifting and see the things differently.
Yeah, so how did you manage to combine the mental reprogramming and movement and breath work? What was the thought process behind it that helped you combine all of these together into your method?
So that signature kind of combination came from, it's like all of the different parts of my life kind of came together and integrated. So the mental reprogramming, it came from kind of what I just shared, which is like, get control of my mind. And I was realizing that it was running the show. And so reframing the brain was one thing, but you can kind of like walk around and talk affirmations all you want, but if you don't start to really put them into action or embody them, they are just words, which is great. Words have frequency, they have a vibration, and they do tend to help you attract what you want. Then I studied in India doing this breath work, and Osho was one of the Indian mystics that I did a lot of learning. He's not alive anymore, but his trainings really taught us that it's all about moving. We here in our Western world, we're moving around all day long, and then we think that we can just stop and like drop into meditation. So he actually said, no, like move it, keep moving, and then get tired, and then come to the meditation. So that's a part of why I do the movement practice, to help release the energy or the old stagnant programming. And they're great. And then the breath work itself is this actually scientifically will rewire your system on a cellular and a tissue level. So the oxygen will just go, you're just really oxygenating your body. And what is oxygen? Life force, energy. You're coming alive, so you're transforming. So that combination was just really powerful for me to release what wasn't working and start to step into the new self from a place of love, not lack. I think that was the big kind of pivot for me, because the food addiction and the mental stuff around that was like, I'm not good enough. And it came from lack thinking. And then the pivot I made in my business and in my life was to realize, like, change from love to better myself, to evolve, not to, fix myself or to keep changing, which I think is like something people have a lot of in our world, the constant need to fix and change versus evolve and grow.
Right. When you were studying this, was it with the goal to do this for yourself, or were you already sort of thinking that you might want to share this at the same time?
Yeah, I love that question, because I took the breathwork training with zero idea of ever teaching it. Someone told me it was going to be the fastest way to change, and I was like, sign me up. Because it does bypass the talk therapy stuff. Sometimes we can just talk ourselves into nowhereness, but the breath work was one of the fastest ways to get past the mind, and I needed help doing that. So yeah, when the training was over, it's funny how decisions then start unfolding in your life. And I found myself actually after the training, that's when the teachers invited me to India. I spent 6 months in India. When I came back, one of the girls in my group decided to start Urban Breath NYC, which was like one of the very first breath workshops in New York City. And it was so fun. We love house music. We were getting people breathing and moving and dancing. So no, I did not have any intention. And now here in Mexico, people come and the retreats have breath work. I do 2 retreats every year here in Puerto Morelos.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, I love that question because I love knowing that sometimes things just unfold because you make a decision to try something new and without the intention of having to make it a career move or make money from it. It was literally to heal myself.
But I think, life is like that, right? Too, right? And even business, I think even if you are trying to, build a business, it doesn't ever end up quite how you expected to, and to be able to go with the flow and just figure out what's right for you as you go. I think that's a beautiful thing.
Mm-hmm.
How does your
one of my little
sorry, go on. No, sorry, go on.
I was going to say one of my little Lisa-isms is you're always being rerouted to your best case scenario, which I've had to apply in what you just said in business, because I set out to do something and then things didn't work out, and I just kept on saying, well, this or something better, or I'm being rerouted.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, keeping that attitude is good.
Sweet. How's your business? Like, how does it look like? Do you is it online sessions, or is it like a retreat, or a combination of both, or?
Yeah, combination. I currently see people here in Mexico, in person. It's a week-long retreat. I use the chakras as a ascension model. So we root down to rise up, because everyone who's going to grow, trees grow in 2 directions. And if you're going to evolve and grow in your life, you also have to grow down a little. So we root down and then we rise up into learning many things here. I just launched my new website, which I'm really excited about. And all of my programs are on there. Some of my signature work, a program called the 30 Days of Change, which is a great program. And then my newest one, which is the ABCs of Manifesting. And I'm really into audios. I create inspirational audios. So all those programs are very short audios to help you just think differently. And short because we don't need a long, you just got to reframe the brain real quick every day. And it's all about repetition. So yeah, in person, virtual, and retreats.
So you said that, you were mentioning affirmations, and you talked about how you can do them, but if you don't embody them, then it doesn't work. But then I'm curious, the audios that you're talking about too, is not like someone saying affirmations to you, or where, how does the connection happen for the person? How do they make the change to actually embody it?
The 30 Days to Change program is specifically uses what I call my 5-a-day method. So you do one thing for 5 minutes a day. So you are actually embodying it. You have to keep showing up every day for 5 minutes a day, and it's accompanied by an audio. So one of the 3 keys to self-mastery that I teach, the very first one is resistance. I really believe we must master resistance. So if you cannot show up for yourself for 5 minutes a day, you open up a dialogue with yourself of the resistance dialogue. Why can't I? So it's not even about doing the thing. It's about learning to push through the resistance, because that's what's going to show up everywhere. Resistance is the gatekeeper to your next level. So so that program does have an embodiment and action oriented, but sometimes you do need to sit with the mind piece, and then you can add in the action later. But everything is created twice, first in your mind. So, it's okay to pump your brain first with it. And then there's a moment where you transform it into action.
Yeah.
What's your favorite manifestation hack, if you don't mind sharing that with us?
Yeah, we got so many. I was right before this call, I was thinking about which one I wanted to share if you asked me that. Because I did a 2020 countdown, so there's 20 of them to choose from. I think I'm going to go with the how are you hack. And you can, the 20 hacks are on my website, but the how are you hack is, I think, maybe my favorite. And it's also it's a surprising one. So how are you is like a very common thing that we ask everyone all day when you meet someone new. Hey, how are you? And I think it's one of the most underused hacks out there, because most people are either going to complain about something, because we love the whole misery loves company thing, or we're going to talk about meaningless things like the weather, or we're going to say even something lower vibration like fine. So I teach people to use how are you to basically plant a seed of something that you want for yourself, because you never know the someone that knows the someone. So right now, let's say in my life, I'm looking for someone to take my apartment in New York when I get back, because I'm going to resublet. So someone says, hey, how are you? I'm great. I'm headed back to New York, going to be, resubletting it. So I'm just automatically bringing something that I may need or could use help with. And it's something that you can do with anything. I'm looking for a new house. I'm thinking of fostering a dog. I'm looking for a gym in my area. It's just a way to connect on something that, people really do want to help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And would you actually use it if somebody asks you like today, how are you? Would you respond the same way to your manifestation as well, or?
Yeah, I use it all the time. I really try to be mindful about, if I'm talking to a really good friend and I need to get something out, that's different. But yeah, I really try to stay in that type of vibration of calling in what I'm building, because that's what manifesting is. I call it practical manifesting, because I don't think that manifesting is like a switch we turn on and off. It's a way of life. And it is embedded in the words you're using, in the conversations you're having, the way you're positioning yourself in your own life. Are you thinking about what's coming and building what's next, or are you staying back there in something that has happened or isn't working? It's always a choice. So yes, I try to embody it.
That's actually a very clever way of doing it, because when you meet people, if you want to solve like an issue, or if you have an issue and you're thinking about it, and if somebody asks you how are you, and then you bring it up in that conversation, you never know, that person might have the solution to that problem. That person might know somebody that is looking for an apartment in New York, or some that they can sublet, or it's actually a very a good practical way of thinking about manifestation. I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah, try it out. Let me know how it goes.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. You've
Absolutely.
Hey,
also
Yusuf, how
mentioned,
are you?
yeah,
Oh,
yeah. I don't, well, yeah, I'm very good. I'm very good. I just would like to get more people on this podcast. So that's, and then maybe
Oh, well, I might
other.
know someone.
Yeah, totally. You've also mentioned something that really caught my attention in your bio, the habit hole. Would you mind diving deeper
Mm.
into it?
Yeah, we're all find ourselves in habit holes, don't we? I mean, it's kind of like what it sounds like, rabbit hole, but a habit hole. When we say, "Oh, I'm so deep into the rabbit hole," you're like lost down there, don't know which way is up. So a habit hole is basically when the habit has taken over, and as I shared with food, eating became certain way of eating, certain way of being was almost like a habit that I found myself in the habit hole, and I had to find a way out. So really, I took a deep dive into how do we break habits? What is a habit? And that's what the programs that I've been mentioning, the audios, they begin to change just one word, how you see something. Again, perspective shifting is everything. So for me, getting out of a habit hole is about using some of these practical manifesting hacks on a daily basis, and just to begin to change your behavior one breath at a time, one thought at a time, just one little step at a time. And you find yourself getting out slowly and then building a new habit.
So I have a big question, I think, a two-part maybe.
Okay.
So what do you think your life would have been like if first you didn't do this training, like to train for your own transformation? And then what if you had done that but not turned it into something you shared with others? What would your life be like then?
Wow. I mean, that's kind of like the sliding doors movie where she gets in the, it's pretty hard to answer in a sense because I remember since I was a kid, always wanting to be a motivational speaker. So I think I would have found my way here at some point in some way. It just may have looked different, but I was someone who's always looking to understand myself. And I think I would have still arrived here. I have an art piece that says, if I took the other road, would it still lead me here? So I think it might have looked different, but I would still be here. I meant to be a leader and a teacher. So
that's perfect. No,
yeah. Interesting question.
And then, so you are now also doing these retreats in Mexico, but you also told us that you are there 6 months of the year as well. So you're it's your second home as well. And
yes.
And so where did that all come from?
Talk about a manifestation. I just always had it in my head that I wanted to live in Mexico by the beach. And actually, if I get vulnerable and trace it back, a lot of it came because the food addiction had me not, liking my body. So I didn't go and enjoy a lot of the beach living and the bathing suit wearing things during my youth. And I feel like I missed out. And there was this thought that I was like, you know what, I'm going to go and give that gift to myself. And originally a few years ago when I got here, that was a huge intention to really embrace my body. I mean, we're walking around half naked around here most of the time on the beach and everything. So it was also a healing journey for me just to live here. It was a part of my lifestyle creation of, I don't have work Lisa and other Lisa. It's just, I live my life. And I had been, I guess one of my affirmations was I want to get paid just being me and doing what I love. And so people come here and they live my life for a week, and it feels like the integration and the alignment of all the hard work to get here.
Yeah, that's nice. I love that. Yeah, just to be who you are and spread the wonderful things that you know and can share. Mm-hmm. That's lovely. So you're friends with Debbie. Sorry. You're friends with Debbie, so who we did interview as well. And nice. When people are watching this, it may be published before or after, but do you live on Long Island as well, or in Long Island? Or when
I'm in New York, I'm in the city, in the Manhattan.
Okay. But, yeah, because Long Island has beautiful beaches, which I was so shocked about. But
absolutely, totally.
But the summer is gorgeous, right? And the beaches are wonderful.
Oh yeah, New York. I love the summer there. Yeah. I just wanted to speak Spanish and eat as many tacos as I possibly could in my life.
So you're obviously a successful entrepreneur who spends half of the time in New York and half of the time in Mexico. Were there any life struggles that becoming an entrepreneur helped you overcome?
Oof. The whole journey has been in many ways a struggle. Early on, so I mentioned that I had a corporate job. So that corporate job allowed me to buy an apartment in New York. And then when I stopped the corporate job, maintaining that mortgage was both a blessing and a curse because it created I don't usually use the D word, debt. Actually, part of my manifesting has been eliminating certain words. The vibration of them doesn't work for me. So BROKE, I never say that one, or debt. But so yes, the struggle of having to show up to make money or to figure out how to make the money was both the most beautiful journey ever within myself and also the hardest thing I've had to do, because there was a lot of feelings of failure or why isn't it working? You see all the other people doing it. So sticking with it and believing in myself and staying steady really. And also along the way, I definitely had to learn to receive help, invest in myself. And these are things that I still believe in and support others. when people come to the retreat, I always say the retreat starts the minute they said yes. It's not even about coming here yet. They said yes to an opportunity. I call it the ripple out effect. It's like you throw that little pebble in, and so they said yes to it. They are kind of stepping into a worthiness, and the level of worthiness by being here.
Nice.
And I've seen that in my own life. Even buying programs I didn't have the money for, and believing in that me. Yeah, that was a struggle. I think the financial piece was probably the biggest struggle.
Yeah.
And then being here in Mexico was like the other side of that, like arriving at the celebration of creating an abundant company, which is hard to even say, but yes, thank you. It's successful in that way.
So before I jump into the other entrepreneurial question that I have, I would like to just because you mentioned you tried to eliminate certain words in your manifestation, and like negative words, obviously debt is one of them. What's the thought process behind it for somebody like me that wouldn't know why the elimination of those words are important?
Yeah, well, words matter, words have a vibration, and everything is traveling with its counterpart. So it's really a choice if you want to live in a higher vibrational state to use words that are elevating you. So I can say the same thing in two different ways. So like common thing is people saying, oh, I can't afford that. Okay, we don't even think anything about it when we hear it, but the more, in my opinion, higher vibrating way of saying is, I choose not to invest in that at this time. And it makes it, again, coming from the abundance instead of the lack. I can't afford it means I don't have it to give you, but I'm choosing not to invest in it means I have it because we have it. It's around. We can ask for it. We can find it. We can earn it. So I've just been, over the years, very mindful about the words that I use and making sure that they're as elevated as possible, and always holding, the highest frequency and the vibration, so that, you've heard the law of attraction, and it will attract others that are at that space as well. So the reason why I eliminated broke and debt is because they were just so like low vibrating for me, and they were representing a hole that I was in, the habit hole, and other black hole. Literally, they call it being in the red. So, yeah. What were you going to say, Alice?
So I was like thinking, like, people say, changing those words, it's probably something that's you have to do consciously to start with, right? And then it becomes a natural thing. And I was trying to think of how, like, putting it into practice. Like, I find, like, I hear that people who tend to be sensitive and who, do think that their surroundings are, the cause of their problems and things rather than the way they look at them. And they will see someone, sometimes it's me, where a lot of things don't bother me, where people could say something and it won't upset me. And I will be told that, oh, stuffing your feelings is not healthy, right? But if you don't have the feelings in the first place, like if it doesn't bother you, are you stuffing? Like, obviously stuffing your feelings is a bad thing. And then that's kind of where I wanted my question to go, is like, how do people get from that point where they are just stuffing stuff down to actually it's not affecting them?
Well, neutrality is a beautiful place to be. That's a really powerful place, because in neutrality, what you're saying is not bothering you. You can move any way from there because you're not in any judgment. So you have a very witness perspective. But we're talking about a few things here. So using the words consciously is just a choice you can make. So using broke versus is another word, investing. But stuffing feelings down, that's like more about well, we're all stuffing something. I mean, I was stuffing food to not feel. So if you're stuffing feelings down, that's more about what do you not want to feel? And it's like it's a personal journey within yourself to see what you might be afraid of, or what is blocking you from fully being expressed.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you do express yourself, what are the words you're using? So, and then where in your life maybe was it not okay to feel, or are you afraid people are going to judge you if you actually share what you're feeling? So, but yeah, and then when you do share it, having the right, like using words that are supporting your process, that are kind to yourself. Because usually if we're not feeling something or we're stuffing it down, we are thinking something. I don't use good or bad, I say unproductive or productive. So you're probably feeling like something's very unproductive within you.
Right. Oh, I like
Yeah.
that.
And that's what breath work has been amazing for, like the feeling piece, because I mean, we're programmed in three main areas in our life: what we hear, what we see, and what we experience growing up. And so those programs, they're running really deep, and we're all holding things in because afraid of something, to be different, to be judged. So breath work is great because it helps just breathe into the tension that's living inside of you where these programs started, and you can just release it from a body level.
The feelings always pass, right? And
right.
That can assist breathing.
That definitely can assist it. Have either of you tried breath work, like the kind that's in and out through the mouth?
I do yoga and have done for many years, but not specifically like focused on any like particular breathwork practice. No.
My brother tried to get me into. I don't know if you've heard Hoffman's, like breathing.
Yeah, the Wim Hof breath work.
Wim Hof, Wim Hof. Yeah, that's the name. I didn't really like. I didn't really like get into it deeply, but he does it all the time, and he says that it actually helps. So, have you tried that?
Oh, yeah.
Wim Hof?
Me, yes. Wim Hof is one of the techniques. So here at the retreats, we do an ice bath therapy, and he's the Iceman, and that breath is very amazing for charging the body up with oxygen, so that you're really ready to get into the cold bath. And but yeah, that's one of the methods. His is very charging. It's like like that kind, which is great. You can really get some serious energy moving.
Yeah.
The connected breath is something. I mean, I teach a lot of different kinds, but mine's more like the ocean wave that's right here outside my window. It's more like.
That's more my speed too.
Yeah.
And you just. It's a conscious breath, though. It takes effort. It's not a passive one like a lot of times in yoga. And so people, I always say how you breathe is how you live. So whatever is going to show up for you in that session of breathing like that for 30 minutes is usually gives you an indication, like a mirror to your life.
Yeah.
It's very powerful.
I tried like a little bit of the Wim Hofs, like the quick ones, but then I found that it often like got me to a point where I got like sort of like dizzy or like losing sort of like control. And I believe the other one is more practical. But like when you step into like a cold water or anything like that, maybe like doing like the quick ones or whatever might help you better. And maybe your style helps you with other I don't know, to stay connected with nature and stay connected with yourself. And it's more realistic, I would say. Do you prefer that people do it indoor, outdoor, or it doesn't matter?
I mean, you're with your breath everywhere and anywhere, underwater, outside, inside. Yeah, I mean, starting the day, even when you first wake up, just taking 3 deep breaths like that in and out through your mouth can be very nourishing. And even like on the exhale, when we sigh and we go, that's kind of, it's each of the, these sound vibrations have meaning, and is actually the heart, the sound of the heart. And it usually just tells your whole system, like, everything's going to be okay.
Sometimes I make that noise and he thinks he's like, why are you so stressed out? I'm like, no, I'm like, I'm releasing it.
Like a dog, right? Doggies do it.
Yes. Oh, we have an expert at that. One dog, she just all the time, and you can see her body like
Yeah.
relax as she does it. Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually call it the breathwork portfolio. I think there's lots of different kinds of breathing techniques for us to learn about and tap into, not just the in and out through the mouth, like some of the ones you're learning at yoga, super powerful for regulating the left brain and the right brain. You know, there's nostril breathing. I think it's a fun adventure to go on because the breath is a very underused tool that we have. And it, have you ever heard of that? Get high on your own supply.
Yeah.
So breathing can make you, like what you were saying, that dizzy that you feel. It's because like we're just not actually taking in the capacity that we are capable of. And as far as making this a manifesting tool, by expanding from the inside out, by actually taking these deep breaths and pushing up against, you know, your own resistance, your internal cavity, you're also sending messages out that like, I'm ready for more, I can take in more. You are opening like tiny little capillaries and like stretching, and it does mirror the manifestation or the growth that we are constantly seeking in our life, that we want more, but actually we're afraid. And so the breath, that's what the breath is. It's like breathe in, expand it, but like come home and be safe. And then so getting into a practice and a rhythm with yourself and knowing that there's another Lisaism. The contraction is just the preparation for an expansion. So in your life, when you're finding yourself in a contracted place, sad, depressed, frustrated, most people are just like so eager to get out of it because they're like, I don't like it. This is uncomfortable. I don't want to be here. But sitting in the knowing that actually a contraction, it's a necessary stage or step of the process for the next expansion. Like we must come back in to go back out. And learning that dance, that dualistic way of life is what I have found to allow me to move quicker and have more fun no matter which phase that I'm in. I mean, nobody wants to be depressed, right? Or maybe you can indulge in it in a way like, okay, 3 days movies and not leaving the bed and actually enjoy it instead of like, am I ever going to get out of here? What's wrong with me?
Yes, being okay with when you know you need to rest or something like that, and not think it's failure or something. That's fun for me.
And also when you say that we can take on more, like it's true, both like literally and figuratively when it comes to breathing. Like I remember when I did that quick breathing technique, initially at the 20-second mark, that's when I started feeling dizzy. And then, you know, when I continued doing it, you know, the last few times that I did it, it became after like 30 seconds, you know, I extended that time. And same thing when it comes to like the business projects that I take on. Sometimes it feels like I can't take on more, but then once I do that, and then next time I'm like, I'm going to do this and add a little bit more to it, I'm capable of pushing it to the next step. And that correlation is actually pretty interesting.
Yeah, and often, you know, bringing it back to the breath, we do like, we take a deep breath in, and then I tell people, sip in a little more. And that's mirroring what you were just saying. Like, you know, there is that room for a little bit more. And I don't think that we really push ourselves and challenge ourselves and become comfortable again with that resistance layer that's there and realize that we are capable. We can do it. And that's what I love that about the breath, because it really, you know, imagine, like you said, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. So we're doing a 45-minute session. Like your body starts breathing on its own and it just becomes big and expansive, and you're tapping into your, like, your internal light and energy. And then you bring that back into the world.
Yeah, that's an interesting correlation there, definitely. Just to bring it back on the entrepreneurial side, because I know a lot of people that will be tuning in will be looking forward for you to answer some of those questions. What's the most challenging part about working from home and running your own business? You know, for me, it's often, you know, setting or meeting the deadlines that I set. Sometimes I'm a little bit flexible. I'm like, I'm my own boss. You know, I can push it a little bit further because I have something else more important to do. But from your experience, what is the most challenging when it comes to this aspect?
In the beginning, it was about my time, knowing how to structure my times, coming from corporate that like kind of owned my 9 to 5, it was easy to understand. You show up to work and it ended. So becoming an entrepreneur, like, yeah, managing the time or being inside of time, knowing when to play because I can, knowing when to work, when to outsource. Yeah, it's about, for me, yeah, the challenge has always been about time, and kind of back to that depressed thing. It's, if I am going to take off, to enjoy it instead, because I know a lot of the times I'd be like, I should be back working, and then it defeats the purpose of whatever I decided to do that wasn't the work. So that, and I think now recently building team has been, I would say challenging, and it's just that it's my next layer, and I guess it's challenging who to trust and how to grow, where to make the investment in team and grow.
Yeah, what kind of team are you building? Like, what are they doing for you?
Well, right now it's the marketing and the promoting and really getting the word out there, and building a team that can help with the consistency of that. And
yeah, and that will like help that goal of, well, that, you know, being yourself, right? Like you get to outsource
exactly
that will put you more into work mode instead of being Lisa mode, right? So it's always good to have a team. And yeah, it is.
It's more fun too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I guess also the feeling of going at it alone, that was challenging in the beginning. You know, you just like following, there's a lot of things that come at you in this world of the way that something's supposed to go, or the comparison piece. That was hard. A lot of comparing of how other people are doing it, and that would take me down sometimes. So looking back, it was all part of the process. I guess the challenges are really just opportunities. But back then, I don't think I was as clear about confusion being clarity in disguise.
True.
But now I move through it quicker, and that's my wish for everyone. You know, it's not that we fall off; it's how fast we get back up that I believe defines self-mastery. And I fall all the time, and I just would like to think that I'm shortening my dance to get back up. And
so you mentioned that you've had a corporate job before, and how was walk me through, because a lot of people are curious that will be listening now. They will be wondering like how did you transition from corporate into business? Was it like a sudden move, sort of like a transitional process, or just tell me a little bit about
it. It was a little of everything, but I was working at WeightWatchers.com. I was the 30th employee. I designed their first website. It was a subscription-based website. And my 5th year there, I started to, it had grown to 200 people, and I started to feel more of like a number and not a name. The corporation was getting bigger. And I remember I had a very specific incident that happened where it was something in a review that they kind of reprimanded me for not following process versus doing a good job. And I was like, I think my time here might be done, because I just didn't feel like my hard work I was like working hard for someone else. And I decided to follow my heart. I moved to Amsterdam. I was in a relationship. It didn't work out. And when it didn't work out, I was like, I'm going to just start my own company. So I guess it was like a little series of events that led me to just trying it out on my own. And the thing about graphic design is everyone's always asking you to do something. So I always felt like I had like freelance projects on the side. So it didn't feel like a major leap. It was more of like just starting it, like allowing it to unfold. And so Metamorfize started as a graphic design studio in New York City, just out of my room, my bedroom. And word of mouth led it to grow, and I still love doing logos and branding. I mean, I think branding is something I still do. It's kind of embedded in everything, because branding is how we speak about something, including ourselves, who we are, asking the questions. Like, I think it's all about asking the right questions. The answers are always in the questions. So being a coach and a business coach or anything was always about me asking people questions. I don't really give anyone answers. I just ask them to talk to themselves. And right. I guess, yeah. So that's how, and I really think if anyone else is thinking about leaving a job, it's you really ask yourself or kind of remind yourself one life, like you deserve to be happy every day. Is it fulfilling you? You know, is this fun for me? Do I feel inspired? And if you don't, yeah, it's going to feel like a leap. It's going to be hard. It's going to have resistance. You're going to be afraid, but that doesn't mean it's wrong or not the right thing to do. And that every challenge that I've had is how I got to know myself. So overcoming the food, leaping into my own company. I stopped at one point. I remember the moment where it wasn't like, poor me or why me. It was, this is how I'm going to get to know myself. And I embraced the challenges so that it was working for me, not against me. Because we can always find the evidence to support our case. So if you're in a job that you don't like, you're gonna, there's ways that we find, the money's good or it's comfortable, but
yeah.
It's,
and
deep
it's
down
scary
when you go to
to
sleep
the
at night. Yeah, it's super scary.
And our society doesn't really we think that that's too risky, that you have to go for security. But the thing is in the corporate world, there isn't that security isn't there anymore anyways. It may have been like 20, 30 years ago or something like that. It's a different place. So finding your own thing and where you're able to adapt and change is certainly
totally
how that's
and that's the thing. We are very adaptable as we can adapt quickly. I think it really comes down to asking oneself, ourselves, yourself, myself. That's where the lifestyle comes in. Is the corporate world is about making the money, a lot of the time saving it so you can live some life on the other side of retirement. I just chose not to subscribe to that model. But, if it works for some, that's great. I just feel like, why not kind of, what would retirement look like now? How would I live my life if I was living like that? That's, I guess, what brought me here to paradise.
Yeah, nice.
That's awesome.
It's kind of sunny and a little warm today, but
I was going to say, where are you?
We're in Vancouver, Canada.
Oh, nice. Okay. So
it's a nice spring, warmish, not warm, I would say.
It could be a little bit warm.
Above
normally in April, it's a little bit warmer than this, but it's still sunny, beautiful. It's not raining, so I don't mind it.
What is something that what is something you guys are manifesting in your life? What's something you're growing or creating? I would like to know.
Well, I can say, like, when I was a kid, obviously the stuff that I manifested was or thought about consistently, not necessarily manifested, was to sort of like become a professional athlete and a professional footballer. But in my 20s, what I started to manifest was more of time freedom. That's what I wanted, and that's what I consistently thought about. But I never actually like took any classes or any courses or anything like that. But I was like constantly thinking about it over and over again, and that sort of prompted me into trying multiple different business projects until I found several that kind of worked for me. So that's sort of. But today, I don't know if I have anything that I'm manifesting. Maybe that's something that I should bring back, in order to take it to the next level. Because, people stagnate, and sometimes we stagnate together with our thoughts. When our thoughts stagnate, we stagnate with them, I believe. I might have a better answer to that in the future.
But I love what you just said. It was awesome because it was very lifestyle oriented, like to freedom and time. And then you were open to how it showed up instead of the other way around. So that's very powerful because you're open.
Totally.
Yeah.
Alice, I'm curious. Sorry.
Oh,
And sometimes to
I
figure out what your next thing is, you can ask yourself the opposite, which is like, what isn't working in your life?
Mm.
If there's something.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, we all have several things that aren't working for us, definitely.
Yeah, and
Um,
then that's like the opposite of
yeah.
it is
I'm
probably
actually gonna write that down, um, just to think about it in the future. What isn't,
what is not
what is,
working for you.
yeah, what is not working for me? Yeah, that's,
It could be
yeah,
simple, something simple. Like for me right now, there's no consistent working out, like because my environment has shifted a lot lately.
right.
And so another manifesting hack would be after you ask the what isn't working, then identifying the opposite of it, and then asking yourself, well, for that to happen, what needs to happen? And you keep drilling that down to get to the tiny, tiny little step.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
yeah.
What about you,
Alice,
Alice?
yeah.
I need to manifest better sleep.
There you
we
go.
it I've always been a light sleeper, but I've always been able to like just I manage it. But we have a senior dog
Mm.
who is up many times a night. and I feel like the lack of sleep is affecting me in a lot of different ways. It's kind of increasing some
Mm.
anxiety and stuff, and like so I think I used to be this very like always sort of like I know a lot of people say that you can't be happy all the time, but I truly believe, and they say, oh, maybe you mean content or something like that. But I'm like, no, I actually think I used to be happy, used to be like a state of mind for me. I feel like maybe not elated and stuff, but it was happy. It was more than content. But now that with the lack of sleep, I feel that that's reaching different places and that I don't feel that anymore. So I don't know
Mm.
how I can get that back, or can I have it back?
Do you know what's in the way of you getting more sleep?
Well, yeah, I get woken up many times in the night,
Okay.
and then I can't fall asleep very well after. But yeah, there's a lot of other like obviously like
Mhm.
habits that I could change to get back to sleep, and I am not. But yeah, so
This is
that's on my brain.
awesome.
Being tired all the time right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have anything, Lisa, that you're currently manifesting? Like, I know, like you work with it a lot, but yeah, is there any?
Yes. Well, so it had this really interesting experience since this week I launched my new website, which is basically like a whole 1 year labor and love project that was very intense for me. And I had this little feeling that, and maybe you've had it too as entrepreneurs, where the minute it launched, I almost didn't celebrate it. I had this like rush of what's next, and I'm actually trying to take a deep breath from the manifesting and try to like actually sit in this what I've created for a minute before I go into the next, because I feel like it was very overwhelming. But on a personal project, I'm manifesting more projects with music. I started making like what I'm calling motivational beats, and I'd like to like call in more people that are in the electronic music and producers so I can collaborate, because that seems like a lot of fun for me. And like I said, I'm manifesting more consistent working out for
Mm.
myself, because like kind of like your sleep, I know that's what makes me feel good. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna do more things that make me feel good.
Yeah.
I'm actually, you mentioned house music earlier, and then you mentioned electronic music. I kind of like both genres. How do you incorporate both like the manifestation part and the music? I mean, it's
Oh
fast
yeah.
beat. So would you like read out like affirmations and stuff? Or just walk me through the process because
Hmm.
I'm curious.
Well, there's lots of kinds of house music. There's like chill lounge beats, and I like so many kinds of music. On my audios, all of those that I mentioned, the 30 days, the ABCs, there's music running in the background of everything, and I'd like to get into the binaural beats a little bit more too. My music, yeah, it is a little, some of it's faster and some of it is meant actually to get people moving, like punch it out and like reminding to punch out fear, shame, and doubt and breathing it in. So there's so many different kinds of sounds in there, didgeridoo, breathing. And I guess it's just like any other creative project, whatever I'm feeling at the time. Just last week, somebody asked me to like record just 3 lines, like 3 Lisa-isms, and they're putting it into their music, which is a little more like trippy, dark house music.
Okay.
So I'm open to how it's going to show up.
Yeah. Have you been listening to Buddha Bar? Like they have like
I had all of their CDs back in the day. Yeah, that's a good one. You have that?
It is a good one. Yeah. Like that kind of style, with some Lisa-isms might be good. I don't know.
Oh, totally. Yeah. Well, because like, the repetition is important. It's like, you're kind of pumping your brain with something. So why not feed it what you want it to know or hear?
Absolutely. I think we're getting, we've acquired so much of your time, and I know like you're busy. We have a lot of questions to ask you as well, but we would like to wrap it up with maybe like one question followed with another one. So the question that I would like to ask is, what is a big message you would like to share with the world? And also, where can people find you? That's also another important thing.
You need to know that for sure.
Yeah.
Metamorfize.com is my website. It's spelled a little funky, so I don't know. Oh, it's written. I don't know if they can see my name right here.
Yeah, they can see it.
We'll put it in the notes and stuff like that. So.
Yeah. So my message, my tagline for my company, among all the other Lisa-isms I keep on is be the creator of your life. Is really empowering people to know that they always have a choice, whether it's what word you're using or the decisions that you're making. I like to kind of think of it as conscious decision making. And is the decision you're making right now aligning with what is it that you want more of in your life, or what your goals are, so that in some ways you're always reverse engineering it all the way down to the thought. So that's my message, is to think about what you think about and believe in yourself. You can do it. Push past the resistance. And I have I'm actually hearing myself say what I'm saying is a part of a morning motivation audio that I made. It's 2 minutes, and it's basically like all the little things that you need to hear to like go get them in the morning. I can give you that link too.
Yeah, I love it. And I think resistance is a huge thing, especially entrepreneurs and people who want to do more. Like we're doing a 30-day challenge for creating a product and marketing it. And so we've put together, I think, what is a pretty reasonable schedule, but it's putting people a little bit out of their comfort zones. And it's like, no, I just keep telling them, like, you just got to trust that this is how it is. And it's okay if you fall behind or whatever. There's, we have all this time to catch up. A lot of the days are you're doing the same thing. So you're going to learn so much just from the process. But people always start to do something. And then if they fall off a little, they think all is lost. And I think you mentioned something like that at some point too. Like they think that then they don't get back up. But it's like, you just continue, and you're going to learn and grow so much just from the act of realizing that you can just do it.
Yeah, totally. That's powerful.
Mm-hmm.
The getting back up is necessary. What is that like? Fall down not 8 times, get back up 9 or something?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Have to get up one more time, then you fall. That's all that matters.
Yeah, and mistakes are okay too, right? You learn so much from them.
Have to make mistakes. That Jack Canfield book, the Success Principles. I don't know if you've seen it. It's a big fat book actually, but it's so amazing because he covers like athletes and all these successful business people, and shares basically everyone failed along the way. And it was the failure that a lot of the time was the failure that helped lead them to like that happy accident, or like I said, you're always being rerouted to your best case scenario. It's just a matter of how you see it.
Yes, absolutely. That's a beautiful way to end that.
Yeah, thank you so much. This is fun. It helps me actually hear about what I'm doing.
Yes, it's always good to talk. So thank you very much. And Lisa is at metamorfize.com. Maybe you can visit her in Mexico.
Yes.
Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to get to know you, and I'm holding your manifestation sleep, and we'll get back to me on the next one.
Have a good one.
All right.
Thank you so much. Have a great one too. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Happy manifesting.
Hey, it's Alice again. I hope you enjoyed this episode. And if you did, we just wanted to invite you to join us as an eKit Hub Insiders member on YouTube. As a listener of our podcast, you probably have already subscribed to the channel, but there is an opportunity to join the membership, which gives you extra member perks. And if you're a regular listener of the podcast, or you think you might be, there's an extra special perk in there for you as well. So when you go under any of our videos, you'll see the link to join, and that will give you the opportunity to join the eKit Hub Insiders Club. It will show in your local currency, but it's an affordable way to support the channel so we can bring more guests and also do all the marketing tutorials and things that we do for you as well on this channel. But when you join, you will get eKit Hub Shop eKits credits, $7 gift code for grabbing some templates to help your business, done for you content, printables, and all that great stuff that you know we have at Shop eKits. You also get 10% off our new eKit Hub group training programs. There is also a monthly members only live stream, which is a class on various topics. We've done a lot of marketing skills, we've done mindset stuff, and we have tons planned, and we do that each and every month with our members. And the other great thing is, as you know, we are creating this my lifestyle self-made workbook for you guys, and it's sort of a living document, and each time we get together, if you join us live, we're giving another piece of that workbook. But if you are a member of the Insiders Club and you can't make it for any episode, you will have those download links put inside of the members area in the community tab, so you'll be able to download whenever you'd like. And everybody else has to attend all the ones live. We still, of course, hope you will join us live, because that's a lot more fun that we can chat and do things together. But anyways, if you are interested, just click join under any of our videos and you'll be able to get into the eKit Hub Insiders Club.
Alice, you're muted. Yeah.
Because I have dogs facing here. Our dog does not think that I should be in the office, would like me to head out. I'll do that after.
That I help people with perspective shifting and see the things differently.
Sorry, there's chaos around me still. Sorry. So now I forgot. No, aren't we awesome?
But on June 20th at 7 a.m. Pacific and 10, pardon me, bad. Don't mix those up. 7 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. No, I got it wrong.
Yeah, just jump in. I'll edit it.
Okay.